There are 5 central components of trauma-informed practice, which can look really different in different models and evidence-informed approaches. And they are safety, trustworthiness, choice, collaboration, and a strengths perspective. While there are many different models of trauma-informed approaches that can sort of look different in surface level or superficial ways, they all do share some central components, even though the way those components are put into practice might look a little different. So what are these components? The first is safety. So when you're working from a trauma-informed perspective, the idea of personal safety, freedom from harm is very important, as is safety in relationship to other people. So we don't think of safety as just physical safety, but also sort of social safety, emotional safety. And most trauma-informed programs, in one way or another, address that component. Similarly, and related to that, there's a component of being trustworthy. So what does that mean from a social work perspective? It means being transparent and consistent and compassionate, working to be culturally responsive, following through on what we say we're going to do. So we think about that in terms of, in our role as social workers with clients, we think about it here in the school. Classes are supposed to start at 8:30, we expect them to start at that time, sort of setting up a consistency to the structure that we have at the school. And a third really powerful element of most trauma-informed approaches is this idea of choice. We sometimes talk about it as empowerment, voice, and choice. So a very common experience for people who have experienced trauma is that an element of the trauma was that they may have felt helpless. And so one aspect of working with people in a way to support their strengths and recovery is to include as much choice as is possible in the context of a given situation. So we want to, again, understand their lived experience, and where we can, find opportunities for people to exercise their own sense of agency in general, because we believe in that from a social work values perspective, but specifically because it's seen as an antidote to one of the most powerful impacts of trauma, which is to feel helpless or a lack of agency. And another couple of things just to say about models of trauma-informed care are the focus on collaboration. So we don't do things to people, we do things with people, and collaborate, understanding people's needs from their perspective and thinking about how we can work with them to achieve their own goals. And then the last piece is focusing on strengths. So always trying to find, within the context of a traumatic experience, where we can work with people to identify and leverage their strengths to reach as much healing as possible.